think of more positive things. And with that, you see a real difference in their attitude. You know, it always amazes me that the kids in class that have been here a long time, you know, maybe they've been here a year or more, they just have this real upbeat, positive attitude. And they're very helpful, and they're excited about life, and they're ambitious, and they're generally peaceful. And, you know, the newer kids who come in have a different disposition. And it's not that, you know, karate performs miracles, it's that it trains them. You wouldn't be shocked if they took math tutoring and they got better at math. Well, it's the same thing with happiness and becoming a good finder. When you train yourself to get good at these things, you do, and you increase your baseline of happiness. That's one of the most important studies that I've seen in a long time, is that through different exercises and drills, many of which we use in karate, and many of which are part of you know, different traditions around the world or different religious systems, there can be a significant improvement in your level of happiness. This study is extremely important. By practicing and developing and using different tools and practices, you can develop a more positive attitude. You can increase your baseline of happiness significantly, you know, doubling and tripling or even more. It takes time and practice, just like anything. To get 4 times as good at something, it's going to take a lot of time and practice. And you can increase your level of concentration and focus incredibly, you know, from being able to focus for maybe 10, 15 seconds, the average child, to being able to focus for a minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, hours on end. It's very possible. And then also greatly reducing your stress level, you know, taking random surveys after doing different exercises, you can significantly reduce your stress level. And I think the most interesting part about all that is that it's not what's happening to us that changes. Literally, the connections inside your mind, the plasticity of your brain is adapting to this new practice. And you are becoming a new and different person. And that new and different person sees the exact same life now that you had before. Nothing has changed. Conditions are the same, or possibly worse, possibly better. It just depends on randomness. And yet you are significantly more happy, significantly less stressed, significantly able to focus more, and even less susceptible to depression or you know, all of those different emotions. You experience them fully, but you're much less susceptible to them overwhelming you. And so I would encourage everyone to do that. Let me get now to a little bit of some of the ways to help your child to become a good finder, now that we've sort of established that it's extremely valuable. And that is simply to regularly encourage them to find things. Just like on an egg hunt, you know, you say, where are the eggs? You ask your kids the same thing. What's something great that's happened to you today? Now, I promise when you first ask them, of course, just like if you ask them what's, you know, 30 times 6, they would have no idea. You know, before they learn math, you help them. You say, you know, what, and they say, I don't know, nothing, you know. When you say, well, do you have a favorite class? Most kids say yes. If they say no, that's okay. You know, what about recess? You know, did you do anything fun with your friends today? And you don't have to make it intense. You just work with them, talk with them, until all of a sudden they are starting to say, well, yeah, I did have a good time talking with my one friend, and he got a new video game. I'm going to go over to his house and play it. And they start talking about the good. You just keep doing this until the person is, you know, able to do that. And by repeating this over and over in different circumstances, the child starts to get really good. You know, the instant he comes home, he's thinking to himself, well, I can't wait to get home because I'm going to tell my mom or my dad all the great things that happened to me today. And this will take time. I mean, this could take 3 months, 6 months. It depends on how long before they really develop a lot of skill. The more regularly you practice, the better you get. And that's going to make a huge difference. Another way to just involve yourself is to say, let's play a game. You know, I'll say one good thing that's happened to me, or one thing that I'm thankful for, and you'll say one. We'll go back and forth. The first one who, you know, doesn't get it right away, loses a point or something along those lines. Depending on the age. 4 to 7-year-olds, you can just say, let's go back and forth. 8 to 12-year-olds like to play a lot more competitive games. So in that age range, if you say, you know, we get points or you lose points or blah, blah, it makes it a lot more fun. They like to be competitive. They're just more ambitious at that age in that way. So that can be a lot of fun. And then as you're out, you're saying, you know, what's the most beautiful painting at this art museum? Or, you know, what was the best thing about school? Or what was the best thing about going over to your friend's house? And tell me about that. And you just keep reinforcing that. Now, a lot of times, I know my natural instinct sometimes too, and this is our natural tendency, is to be going, you know, a child will say something, I hate school. What do you hate about school? I don't like Jimmy anymore. He's not my friend. Why not? You know, I'm scared of the dark. Well, what's scaring you? You know, and you can see this is the exact opposite drill. I'm not saying that those aren't useful questions, but if that becomes the standard, you are literally training them then to find the negative, scary things. Remember, the dark is not scary, the friend is not bad, and you know, school is not horrible. These are the way that their brain is wired at the moment. And so each time you ask them about that, it reinforces it. A better thing to do is when they say that is just to listen attentively. Let them vent about how school is bad, or let them vent about that. And then after, you know, 5 or 10 minutes of really talking, usually that dissipates that energy. You know, that part of the brain has gotten to express itself. Then move on to rewiring that same circuitry. So it's not that you don't want them to be present and aware of those emotions and feelings and to deal with them, but it's that you don't want to stop there. If you just stop there, they just are reinforcing that ability to find everything that's wrong. You can always find something negative to complain about, but it's then taking it and training them to be upbeat, to be positive, to see the good in things, to see the good in other people, to start to get outside of themselves and to see that they have the potential to contribute to others and be part of a group and working together and being ambitious and being peaceful and all those kinds of awesome characteristics that are going to have a permanent effect. So this is something to really do.